doing a snow survey yesterday. Went up to the snow and doing a little bit of a snow survey to check out that new fresh 4 feet of powder. It's pretty nice up there.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Nice.
It looks like you've got some mountains back behind you there, right?
Yeah, how beautiful are those?
Yeah, nice. Well, cool. Well, good morning. Hey, Jackie, Patrick, good morning. So, hey, welcome. Atomic Habits Wednesday. I'm going to turn things over to Russ. Russ Inyard, let's rock and roll.
Hey, good morning, everybody. I got snow behind me, but yeah, Tom's been doing a very thorough job for all of us of inspecting the snow in the Sierras to make sure that it's okay. So thank you for doing that, Tom. You're a giver for sure.
Absolutely.
Hey, welcome everyone. We have a very special treat for you this morning. Serge Kucher is here, and he's going to be sharing with you the ultimate guide to investing. And then more importantly, I think for all of you on the call, I would ask you to stay till the very end. At the very end, we're going to share a couple of things that are going to help you increase your production business. So make sure you stick around. But Serge and I have known each other for quite a few years now. He actually came and looked at a few of the properties that I had that were bank owned. He's a big time investor in Sacramento, does hundreds of transactions himself each year. And what we want to do is be able to educate you today on how to work with investors, how to invest if you would like to on your own. And without taking up too much more of Serge's time, I'm going to pass it over to him. Welcome, Serge.
Guys, thank you so much. It is a pleasure. You guys have the family you guys have created. It's worldwide, but especially here in the United States, it's definitely making an impact, and definitely in our local community. So definitely a privilege and an honor. I just want to add some value, guys, to your business for this upcoming year. And I'll just share a little bit of what I do, and then really just kind of, my hope is to make you aware of the investment community that's out there. And give me about 30 seconds. I'm pulling up to my office here. But, I would say this year, 2022, we're wrapping it up. And again, time just flies, right? When you're having fun, time flies. And this year's coming to an end. And now we're pivoting to 2023. And I would say 2022 was a roller coaster year, right? We had the beginning. We were climbing that peak. It's nice and calm, and you have nice views. And you're enjoying the top. You're enjoying that fresh air. You're enjoying the top. And before you know it, we're in the dip, right? And we're in the dip, late spring, early summertime, we're in the dip, and you're kind of holding on. We're all kind of holding on and seeing how this dip's going to work out and what it's looking like. And then you got twists and turns, and you got a couple loop-de-loops. And next thing, can you not hear me?
Serge, I can hear you just fine. So I think that was just
that's better now. It was a little sketchy at first, but now it's better. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, sorry about that. And so we've had a couple loop-de-loops in this road, and I think at the end of this, a lot of us are coming out off this roller coaster, a little woozy, right? A little woozy, head spinning a little bit, and trying to figure out, where do I go to next? And so I'm hoping I can add some value to you guys going into this next year. And so I really wanted to talk about the investor market that's out there. And, when the market is hot and you don't need it, and all you need to do is think about traditional buyers and sellers, you don't ever think about distressed homes. You never ever think about people in distressed financial situations, because you don't need to. Your pipeline's full, and there's nothing you're going to need to add. I just wanted to share some stats. Last year, they said over 70,000 iBuyers bought through the iBuyer platforms. Over 70,000 homes were sold through the iBuyer platform. And so that's a huge percentage. Opendoor themselves did over 20,000 transactions last year just through direct buyers. And they're looking for just a cash deal that a buyer gets to pick their close dates, gets to work with the convenience of moving out, things like that. Because that's what investors are allowed to give, is they get to be more flexible on that. I'm here in the Sacramento market. We do over 100 transactions, over 100 purchases a year, over 100 sales a year. So we have a small part of the market, not a big part, but there were some bigger guys here. Sunday was here, Opendoor's here, still here. And so we actually were at a meeting with all these big guys. And I asked, hey guys, how many off-market transactions did your data research team find? Because you don't start a $100 million company unless you find some data. And they said, you know what's interesting, Serge, is that over in the Sacramento region, last year we averaged, or this past year, we averaged about 1,500 transactions a month in the regular market, 1,500 transactions. They said over 300 to 400 off-market deals are done every month. No one knows about them. They're done off-market. They're not reported to, the MLS or anything like that. So there's a huge, huge demand, and there's a huge supply of transactions that are being done every month that most agents never see and are never aware of. And so, when you're looking for a new car and you're trying to figure out what you're going to buy, I'd say you kind of get your eyes on, let's do a BMW X5. And as soon as you kind of be made aware that there's a BMW X5 that could fit your profile, what do you start? You start noticing that BMW X5 everywhere you go. You start noticing it on the freeways. You start noticing it on the shopping malls. Start noticing it as you're driving by. And so I want to just kind of make you guys aware that there is such a huge demand and a huge market for investors right now. And so I've been doing this for 12 years, done over 1,500 flips, just the homes flips. So 3,000 transactions just in the real estate part of it. And I want to tell you right now is that right now is actually a better time for investors to buy than it was 8 months ago. Like right now, last week, I closed 6 deals. That we bought 6, and we have 5 that we closed on the escrow side. Why is it a better time to buy? Because home prices have come down, which means me as an investor, who I have over $10 million out in investment properties right now. Me as an investor, I'm getting more bang for my buck. When I used to have to buy them for $500,000, now we know I'm buying them at 400,000. I'm buying them at 350, which means I can leverage that money even more. I can spread myself out. I can diversify even more. And so everyone's like, Serge, there's fear in the market. What do? Can I tell you, I love this market. I make more money in this market. I'm more excited about this market. We're actually growing our business in this market. Because what do you tell your homeowners? You tell them, get your emotions out of it. Get your emotions out of it. Let me show you the data. And here's what I want to tell you guys. Here's the data right now. And I'm just going to use Sacramento because I'm here and I do the research here. Right now in Sacramento, this year from our peak, which was in April, May, from our peak, we've fallen about 12 to 15%. So it's about 1.8%. We're dipping every month over month. Let's go use an easier number. Let's use 1% month over month depreciation. So if I had a house right now that's worth 500,000, I understand by the time I'm going to flip it, by the time I purchase it, rehab it, put it back on the market, it'll be about 3 months, 2 to 3 months. In 3 months, that house will be worth 3% lower. All I need to do is do the math. So if it's worth 500 today, I calculate what the market is dipping at, which if we're just going to do a nice round number of 1%, it's going to be worth $15,000 lower, 3% lower, which is 485. I have my number for 3 months out. I'm not looking for a number for a year out. I have my number for 3 months out. So I really just wanted to put that into context for you guys, because here's the other flip side of it. You're like, well, I don't have any investors. Here's my call to action to you. Either on the buy side or on the sell side. On the buy side, here's where some investors are going to start coming out that have not come out before. It's construction companies. People that used to do construction, that used to do new home builds, they are not doing new home builds right now. I have a lot of friends. We're developers. We do multifamily. We do commercial. We're starting to do Hawaii right now. We're not doing new home builds right now. It does not pencil. It does not pencil it's too long of a turn time. It's about a year. And we don't know what the market's going to be doing in a year. 3 months, you can predict that. And so those new home builders, those construction companies that their business is going to start struggling in, what they're going to start doing is they're going to start flipping. They did this in 2008, 2009, because they have overhead. They don't want to shut down and they got to keep themselves busy. But what they're going to need to do is they don't know the real estate side of it. So they're going to need to find agents that are experienced. And they're going to be looking for agents that know analytics, that know data. and I can sit down with them and say, look, it's not that scary. We actually have an advantage because the fear in the market is going to help you buy cheaper. You're going to be able to do inspections. You're going to be able to do all these things. You're going to be able to know your costs up front because you can do inspections. 7, 8 months ago, I couldn't do any inspections. Like all of us know, if you want to be competitive, you got to remove your contingencies. You got to buy it kind of almost blindsided. Right now, I do sewer, I do roof, I do all of it. I have my numbers. I'm like, here you go. I go back to the seller. I'm like, here are my numbers. I think we've seen that stat. I think 40% of escrows right now are being either concessions that have to be given out or being renegotiated. And so on the buy side there, you can find investors that are going to start coming out of the woodwork that were not there before. On the sell is be aware.
Thank you. I'm not scared.
Don't be scared. Don't.
All right, still good. On the listing sides is how do I look and find some of these listings? We understand when people in this market, not every sellers are not excited to be putting their homes on the market. But now we are actually starting to go back into a financial distress market. For 2 years, there was banks didn't repossessing those homes. The banks didn't file foreclosures, nothing like that. We're starting to see that again. Actually, last week I had a call from an agent. He's like, can you please put an offer on this home? It's going for sale in literally 2 days. If you can put an offer, that way I can try to save it. We put an offer in. Unfortunately, it was too late. The bank was already too far in the process and they chose not to save it. But you're going to start having financial distress properties because of the situation. We're having people losing their jobs. And we're seeing that moratorium for them repossessing homes has gone already. And so they're starting that process up again. So I would definitely be aware of, NODs, notice of defaults, NOSs, notice of sales, divorces, things like that to be aware of and be the professional. Be the professional. Don't let people who are not professionals tell you how fearful this market is. It's just numbers. If you do the numbers, there's actually a lot of opportunity to start creating a pool of buyers and a pool of sellers for yourself that you can be that guru for them instead of saying, oh yeah, I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know how we're going to do this. It's just like, here, I can actually predict or accurately almost give you a professional opinion of what your home's going to be worth in 3 months. And here's what we want to do. So I think for me, I think I'll leave it at that. I don't know if anyone has any questions or anything.
Hey, Serge, I'll tee up a couple of things. So I know if you're not in the Sacramento market, we have a cash buyer program, right? And what's pushed a lot of people out of the marketplace is interest rates. Well, if you're a cash buyer, what concern do you have with interest rates, right? Zero concern with interest rates. So those of you that are not certified on express offers, you should get certified. It takes a little time, but it's well worth it. And they're aggressive and they have a number of buyers in the buyer pool. Serge, what I would love for you to share is some of the folks that are in Northern California. I know this is a little extra added bonus, but Serge is always looking for property. And so if you're within hour and a half, I would say, I know I'm expanding a little bit for you, Serge, but I know you're in buy mode. But if you're within an hour and a half of Sacramento area, would you tell them how your program works if they actually find you a property?
Yeah, so we have we launched a program, this whole iBuyer thing, because I'm a real estate agent first and foremost, and then of course I'm an investor. But I've had my license for over, I think, 14 years now, and I knew this iBuyer program was really pushing a lot of agents out of the market because they're trying to skip the agent commissions. They're trying to go directly to the consumer, which in most part is the seller. And so I felt like, you know what? The real estate market will always still be dictated by agents because it's professional people. It's not robots. It's not people in third world countries that are running some numbers. It's still, these transactions are done to the highest level and they have to be done by people that are trusted, which is real estate agents, which is us. And so I created an iBuyer program for ourselves. And I said, you know what, but we're only going to do this through agents. And what we're going to do is we're going to give them, we call it our 3X program. I don't know if some of you guys here in the Sacramento region have heard of it. We call it our 3X program, meaning we'll let you represent us on the buy side. So if you find us an off-market deal, you'll represent us as the buyer's agent. I'll give you that listing on the back end. So our listing fully remodeled, permits, staged, professional pictures. I already have all of that in-house. We give that to you. You literally just hit submit on the MLS and you go live. And then as a courtesy and just to show you how much relationships mean to us, we'll give you another listing of ours that we bought off market that we found through other sources to list for us. So we'll give you three transactions, one buy side, two listings, just for you to bring us an off market deal.
Serge, that's fantastic. I love that. And you guys, for those of you that are not in the Sacramento metro market, it's important for you to understand that every metro market has a Serge. Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, Serge probably knows some of those people. So does Russell. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. My point is that don't be thinking, oh, well, geez, that'd be great if I could have the 3X program. All you've got to do is go to a decent escrow officer and say, hey, who is the top investor client that you have? Every one of any decent escrow officer worth her salt has got a couple of them. And then go to them and say, hey, do you offer something like a 3X program to agents like myself to source properties for you? Well, what do you mean 3X? Well, there's this guy in Sacramento Metro that's doing over 100 deals a year, and here's what he does. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. I mean, if it works for Serge, it will probably work for them. Now, mind you, you're going to have to meet his buy box parameters. Do you want to speak to that, Serge? What do you, when somebody brings you a deal, what would be your ideal property and what amount of profit do you require to make that, to start this whole wheel running?
So single family residence, because we're doing a buy and sell resale method. So single family home in the Sacramento, if we're talking about the Sacramento County market, we want probably $150,000 spread. And I'm talking about this as being a full fixer. So I'll be very honest, if the home is clean and there's nothing I can do, I'll tell you, hey, I'm not the right person for it, because my numbers work on the heavier the fixer, the better for me. We have an in-house construction crew. We have 40, we just had a Christmas party last night. I think it was 56 people were there. And so we go from foundation to roof to everything in between. And so the 150 grand spread, what it allows us for, and I'll kind of even break it down real quick, is right now with rehab, we're between $70,000 and $80,000. That's including roof, HVAC, windows, things like that. Depending on the square footage, but we're talking about 1,000 to 2,000 square foot house. So that right there will cover about 80 grand. And then we have concessions, right? We're going to pay agents out. We're going to pay escrow out, because we're going to probably pay for the escrow on the buy side. We're going to pay for the escrow, split escrow. So agent commissions, we usually calculate about $30,000 in concessions that we're going to be paying out with agent commissions and closing costs and transfer taxes. You guys know the gist of it. And so that leaves us about $40,000 profit. So we get to run a little bit thinner margins. For us, we're looking around $40,000, $40,000 to $50,000 profit. And if you think about it, with 3 commissions, you're going to be making similar to that. You're going to be making, I guarantee, over $25,000 in commissions. And so it's a win-win for both. We get to continue running this machine, and you guys get to get your name out there and make some commission money. And our homes are still selling fairly quickly right now. Our homes days on market is about 2.5 weeks. So I know the average one's a little bit more, because again, we have professional pictures, staged, house looks nice. And we understand there's always going to be a buyer for that. And then I would also recommend for everyone who's not in the Sacramento region, you can Google people who are buying for cash, type in fast cash buyer or something like that. They'll come up, guys. They'll come up. You go on their websites. You call them. Say, hey, if I bring you some deals, would you buy them?
Michael, Michael Devlin needs to mute. Sorry.
But yeah, so just to even find more, you use Google as well. I would definitely escrow. They will tell you, and then Google as well, because those people are actually paying for you to click on their website so they can buy a house. So I would definitely have that as a source.
So, Serge, what I'm hearing you say is that I'd like to partner with an agent. I'll take all the risk. I'll supply the capital. I'll supply the crew. I'll make about 40, possibly 50,000. You're going to make about 25, 30. I mean, with no capital risk, but you're going to have to bird dog this property for me. I mean,
Yeah,
that's a hell of a deal.
yeah, and I feel like that's what is going to set us apart. I'll be honest, and that's what really sets us apart right now. Why we've been able to do this, because we understand it's a relationship business, right? We understand even the XP model, it's a relationship business, and why I'm on this call is because of a relationship business. And so I understand that, and I want to continue to grow my relationships.
Hey, by the way, just so you guys can have some speaking points, I did drop, Serge and I have the same strategy on flipping properties. He just does a way more at a lot higher level. I learned over the years, if you make them perfect and beautiful, they sell very, very quickly. There's always a seat for those, lots of seats for those, right? Like people want those properties. So I dropped a YouTube video into the chat box so you can understand at least the basics on how to flip properties so that when you're speaking to investors, you'll be good. The second thing that I would say to both Don and Serge is how do you find these? Your local title company can also run all of the cash transactions where the buyer did more than 3 or more than 5 or whatever you want that year for a certain number of counties. So you're going to find them, right? And they usually have paid for services that will also provide you phone numbers. And when you call these guys, you want to be educated. I mean, you got a great education this morning, watch my video. I'm not sure if Serge has videos out there, but I thought this was perfect timing. Yeah. Serge, would you do me a favor also? And I don't think I heard it. Will you talk about the increase in cash buyers over the last few months versus where they were when the interest rates were spectacular?
Yeah, so I was doing some trend reports here, and again, this is more local. So nationwide, I got to double check those numbers, but locally right now, as the market, as we've seen our inventory right now, last month, I think we did 1,000 transactions in the Sacramento region. In our peak 6 months ago, we were doing 1,800. So we've had a dramatic drop off. And I think every agent here can say that. What's interesting is the cash buyers have gone up, actually. That's the only trend right now that's going up, and they've gone up from 13% to 17%. So you got to look at it, and that's just cash transactions have gone up. And so what's interesting is that out of that 1,000 transactions, 170, according to this data, was done via cash. And so there's definitely a market there. And that's, again, not even including the off markets. Most of my transactions are done off market. Open Doors, off market. Sundays, off market. And there's a lot of other people that are doing off market. So if you add another, like I said, when I spoke with Open Door, when I spoke with Sunday, they're saying we anticipate 200 to 300 transactions just in the Sacramento region that are being done off market. So you're looking, if we're talking about Sacramento being in the normal market, 1,500 transactions, you're talking about 15 to 20% of deals that don't even ever are reported to the MLS or reported to statistics like that sometimes, that are being done via cash. So I would even say that number is even greater because there's such a large undercurrent of off-market properties.
Very cool. Let's open it up for some questions. If anybody has questions for Serge, fire away.
Serge, did you say you just started doing Hawaii as well?
Yeah, we're actually, we're putting resources together. So we'll be there launching in about 3 months. We'll be launching in 3 months. So I'm looking for some agents there, actually.
Okay. All islands or one in particular?
Probably I have some places in Oahu already. And so it'd be probably Kona and Oahu. We have sources there that we're already starting to build up. And the one thing that I am missing is agents.
Okay, can you put your information in the chat so we can connect afterwards?
Yes, most definitely.
Anna Maria is in Oahu.
Yeah.
I love it.
And she's
Awesome.
done a little bit of investing herself, so she probably knows what you're looking for.
Yeah, I would love to get on a call with you just to kind of see what that market's doing. I know Hawaii's always a little bit of a different market than the rest of the states.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
Yes,
So
sir.
What is your,
I heard you say that basically the heavier the fixer, the better. The agents that have been most successful in sourcing properties for you, do they have a particular system that you've observed?
I mean, I'll go through, I help them set up searches on MLS. You can look up fixers, TLC, things like that. But we also add value by turning 3 1s into 3 2s or 2 1s into 3 1s. within the footprint of the house, since we're pulling permits and really everything is streamlined. So you also, as just for ourselves, that's how you can add value, because we're talking about older homes, and that's the beauty for like the Sacramento market. But I would even consider other markets. If the home is past 1980, older than 1980, most of it is already probably needs to be updated. We're talking about roof, HVAC systems, plumbing systems, electrical. It's way out of code. And so the Sacramento region, 85%, 90% of the homes in the Sacramento are outdated homes. And so there's such a demand, there's still such an inventory of outdated homes that they need to sooner or later be updated. And so those, and we all, I think as you guys have seen, when you walk those homes, those are not the greatest floor plans. Those are, they're not open floor plans. They don't have great concepts. You know, they still have their pink bathrooms or blue bathrooms. And so you kind of wonder, like, what were we thinking? You know, what was the style trend? But, and so most definitely, I think people who know this, because you're trying to add value. You're not just trying to buy cheap property, you're trying to buy property that can be value added.
Cool.
I think there was somebody else with a question also.
I was just gonna ask, are you interested in expanding outside of the Sacramento area, like in Chico?
We'll underwrite any deal. So if you have some deals for us in Chico, definitely send it. We have the crew power. We're going down to the Bay Area right now. So we do Bay Area as well. So we do all of
Okay.
80 corridor, back of Vallejo, Contra Costa. We do all of that.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Hey, Serge, this is Frank. How are you?
Frank, I'm doing well.
Good. Listen, I'm looking at the chat, and Randy Bird made a comment that he has people ready to go. I have people ready to go. Listening to this Zoom call, very impressive. I love how you give bullet points and you just cut right to it. I just love it. What is the next step for people watching this Zoom who are interested in doing this? Do we contact you, Russell? What's the next step?
I believe Russell would know. Russell, if you could answer that.
Yeah, Serge, let's just put them directly in contact with you guys. Like whatever your regular, I guess for those folks that are in Northern California, what is your regular submittal program? I know I just call you guys if I have something that I can't take down.
So check out our website. It's propertysalesgroup.com, propertysalesgroup.com. And it actually spits you out an offer. We're actually just updating. We're just signing an agreement with Zillow. So we're going to be able to use Zillow's data. They had closed off their data for a couple of years. So we actually just agreed. So we'll have updated numbers, but you'll find our contact information super streamlined. Our response time is usually 2 to 3 hours. So we literally have a crew that's underwriting deals all day long. Thank you, Tom, for posting that.
Okay, awesome. Any other questions? Russ, are you still here? You want to go ahead and wrap it up, Russ?
Sure. You know, like we always do, it's Tom's famous saying, right? Now that you guys have the inspiration, it's time to go out and put in the perspiration. Let's go find, search some properties. If you're not in the Sacramento area, I would say that your plan of action is to contact your local title company. This is what I would do, and find out who has done more than 3 or more than 5 cash transactions in your primary counties this last 12 months, and get contact information for those guys. Guarantee you they're just like Serge. They're hungry for the next deal, right? I mean, I'm looking for my next deal. I'm almost done with my Rancho Cordova flip. I do one at a time, about 4 a year. Serge does, 100 plus a year. So these guys are out there. If you find the deals, you will find the investors. The key is to find the deals. I will give you a little more too, just as we close this out. Serge is 100% correct. Distressed properties right now are probably your key for these investors. If you don't know how the notice of default, notice of trustee sale, and then the REO stages work in your current state or your area, get online, figure it out, and then track these properties down. There's a number of resources out there. There's paid ones like Property Radar and Property Shark, and then there's free ones like your local title company. But again, if you find these properties, the investors will follow. You'll find investors, you'll end up with multiple transactions. And for those of you that are kind of stuck in the mud or frozen, I would say investors right now are a fantastic way to boost your business. And that's all I got, Tom. I'll let you say last goodbye, and we'll see everybody
Awesome.
on Friday.
Well, and also it's all about perspective. If you have some buyers that are out there pumping the brakes because the interest rates have gone up, just share with them how many buyers, investors, institutional people are buying properties right now. So the market can't be that bad. And then also,
Yeah.
don't forget, we've got Dialing for Dollars that starts here in a few minutes at 9:45 Pacific, 10 to noon, reaching out to investors or whoever, your database. And then this Friday, we have Freedom Friday, Mike Bjorkman at 9 o'clock. He's going to share 8 tips to help agents crush it in 2023. So thanks so much. Thanks, Serge. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you,
Have a good
guys.
day. See y'all later.
Yeah,
Thanks.
all right.
Bye now.